Hello guys, and welcome to a new episode of Electronic Circuits. Today it's again Raspberry Pi time. Here you can see I'm holding a Raspberry Pi Model B in my hands. And today I'm going to show you how you can make your very own print server for any old USB or even serial printer to connect it up to your home network and VLAN. So the things you will need is an SD card. This is a SanDisk 32 gigabit SD card. I would actually recommend a class 10 SD card. That will make your Raspberry Pi work much more stable and faster. But you can also use a really cheap one like this one here. And about the size, you should take is, I would say, something better than 8 gigabyte is recommended. So here you go, SD card, Raspberry Pi. Then you will need a power supply. Here I got one that's 1 ampere. So 1 ampere, 5 volts. So everything 5 volts and more than 700 milliampere is recommended. Also very important is that it uses one of these micro USB jacks, because that's the way you plug it into your Raspberry Pi. Let me see if I can get that in focus here again. Here we go. This type of connector you need to have on your power supply, and you will also need one of these Edimax USB VLAN cards. But in this tutorial I'm not going to talk about how to install VLAN on your Raspberry Pi. So that's I've already done a video tutorial about this, so just check the description below for a link how to install the Edimax USB stick, VLAN USB stick. Then the first thing we need to do is put in the SD card. It can only go one way, like that. That's already perfectly installed here. Then we need to plug in our power supply into an AC outlet. So I'm going to do this now. Okay, so my power supply is plugged in. Here I now have 5 volts on my micro USB jack. So just plug it right into the back of the Raspberry Pi, like that. And then I need to plug in my Raspberry Pi into Ethernet, using one of these Ethernet cables. So I'm just going to plug one end into the back of my router, like that. Here, I'm just going to plug this right into port number 1. That's plugged in here perfectly well. And then I need to plug in the other end into the Ethernet jack on the Raspberry Pi. So here we go, plugging that in here. And that's all plugged in. And as you can see, if I will zoom in here a little bit, in the very bottom corner of the screen you can now see the red LED is on, and 2 green and a yellow light, and one of the green lights is blinking, so that means the Ethernet is active, and the red light shows that the Raspberry Pi is active. So now we can go over to the computer and have a look at the code. Here at the computer, the first thing we need to do is we need to find out the IP address of our Raspberry Pi. I'm going to do this while logging into the router here. Default password is just default username is admin and no password, just logging in. Then manual setup, and then you click launch setup, and you will find the DHCP client list. Here you can see under host name Raspberry Pi, and it's at 192.168.0.100. I'm going to close out of this window. Then you will need to download a program called Putty. You will find the download link in the description below. Here you have that area here, host name, and you're just going to type in 192.168.0.100, so the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. In your case it might vary. Then just click open, and it will ask you for a login. That's default Pi, and Raspberry is default password. Then the first thing you're going to do is sudo -e, and you get root at Raspberry Pi. Then apt-get install cups printer -driver -gutenprint, and you click enter, and it will start downloading, and that can take quite a while. Here you need to say either yes or no, and you need to say yes, enter, and it's gonna start. So that will take quite a while. So I'll come back when this is done. So now, since our cups program has properly installed, we can now plug in our USB cable from the printer, like that. Okay, so now that the printer is connected to our Raspberry Pi, the first thing we need to do is we need to type cups, CTL, then space, then --, remote -admin. Then we need to type ls USB, and we now should see our printer. Here we can see it's a Helvet Packard LaserJet 1200. That means the printer got recognized by the Raspberry Pi. That's good. Now we can continue with cups, CTL, space --, share -printers, and again that. Then we need to write cups, CTL again, then again space --, remote, and then -printers, and then finally we need to write user mod space -AGLP, and then admin, and then Pi, and that's already done as well. So now we can actually close out of this window. We say yes, we are sure to close this session. Then we go over to our browser and type in 192.168.0.100, so, or whatever the IP address of your Raspberry Pi is, and then 631, and we click enter, and we come to we get to the cups page here. Then the first thing we need to do is we need to click here, then add printer, then you need to click here, you need to say yeah, allow me to continue, and then do this once again. We need to say add printer. Then it asks for a username and password. Username is Pi and password is Raspberry, the same default password as on your Raspberry Pi. And you can continue here, and it's gonna load the connection. And now you can see we have here our local printer. It's the HP LaserJet 1200 series, and I would actually recommend clicking here in the middle, and then we can just continue. Then the name that the printer should have is here HP LaserJet 1200. That's okay. Then the description is also HP LaserJet 2000. Then you can additionally add a place where it is. Then you need to click here share this printer, and then click continue, and that will take a little while to load the data. That takes a few seconds. And we get to another page where we can now say first the name is HP LaserJet 1200, description is HP LaserJet 1200, we have no place, then the connection is okay, then share this printer, the brand is HP, that's okay, and now we have to find an we have to define our model. Here, this is an HP LaserJet 1200 series PCL actually. So I would just, I'm just going to try to find it. But since there is no one like this, I'm just going to leave this one up over there. Then just click add printer. And now you can, all of these you can leave perfectly same. You don't need to do anything, and then say standards, set standards. Then you can see here you get to its page where you can see some other additional information, and you're actually already done. So you can for example, print a test sheet to see if it works. And it's done. Now it should actually start printing something. And you can hear it in the background, it starts up. It's a laser printer, you can hear it, and it perfectly works, so that's perfectly fine. That's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and check back next time. If you would like to see how to set up connect your printer to your system, just make a Google search for how to connect network printer to Windows, and this IP address and this line here you need to then type into your according field that you get asked to type this into. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and check back next time. Subscribe, comment, and give me a thumbs up if you liked it. So thank you for watching.